Day 29, the first day of summer. I say goodbye to the remnants of the spring crops, which is always a bittersweet moment. I hate seeing all of these wilted remains, but there are many more crops we can plant this season that will continue the legacy that was started by last season's crops. I decide to make 5 iridium sprinklers. These shall be used on the Ginger Island farm. William has sent me a letter in which he tells me about how he had to drag me back to the boat last night after I passed out on Ginger Island. Okay, what do you want a medal or even a cookie? Because I can give you both of those things. That was very kind of you, William. Thank you. We also receive the crafting recipe for the computer as a reward for completing the special order Demetrius gave us. It is time for the routine chopping down of trees. If there is one thing I never want to be short of during this playthrough, it is wood. That would be a dire situation. Just in case you don't know what a dire situation is, it is like a normal situation, but it is dire. I buy 450 starfruit seeds from Sandy, a purchase which I am sure I will repeat many times during summer, and I accept a quest from Maru. She wants jade. I have jade. She has money. I want money. As a professional businessman and part-time entrepreneur, I can sense when a deal can be made. And this is one of those moments. I purchased 25 of most of the summer seeds along with 50 of a couple of the summer seeds. I also buy 100 of my favorite item, the Luck Speed Grow. We are truly being blessed today as Lady Luck herself has decided to shine a light upon us. We have been given a third opportunity to get Prismatic Jelly. The unfortunate aspect of this is both of these special orders have a crafting recipe attached to them. In a perfect world, I would be able to accept both of these right now, but as we can only choose one, I decide to choose the Prismatic Jelly order. I head to Robin's where I do not have enough money to upgrade the barn, so I ask her to upgrade our house instead. Back on the farm, I plant all of the seeds I bought today. I am already very excited to see everything grow, especially the starfruit seeds. It is going to feel cathartic harvesting all of this starfruit and seeing the effect it has on our bank account. I toss a garlic into a seed maker so I can get garlic seeds, then I head to the boardwalk at the tide pool area. We have a very important mission to complete here. That mission is to catch our first legendary fish, the crimson fish. I catch a super cucumber followed by a super cucumber, next up is a lingcod and a halibut. For a second there I thought we were going to keep getting super cucumbers. I did get to a point where I felt like the crimson fish was not going to show up tonight, but thankfully it eventually did. It also isn't a particularly difficult fish to catch, so all in all this was a rather enjoyable experience. I was feeling pretty good about myself and wanted to keep the fishing train going, so I head to the sewers where the mutant carp does not show up and I pass out. I buy a melon seed, a wheat seed, and the Luck Speed Grow on the morning of day 30. Next up on our list of super duper important things to do is to use 10 golden walnuts to unlock the west side of Ginger Island. As always, using the tractor to clear out the farm is nothing short of a phenomenal experience. I wish I could do it over and over again, but alas, I am a very busy bee. I plant the wheat, melon and garlic seeds I have, then I take a moment to absolutely annihilate the natural beauty of the beach. In my defense, I got a golden walnut by doing this. I collect a walnut in the shipwreck, pour some water on an innocent creature. I apologize, but that was a necessary evil. I need this golden walnut. And I used the tractor to make the process of finding the walnuts that are hidden in the ground a lot easier. And by easier, I mean I kinda just do nothing. I just drive around and let the golden walnuts come to me. I defeat a group of tiger slimes and dig up a patch of dirt, which nets us a further 2 walnuts. I find one in a bush, followed by another in a bush, and long story short, I collect almost every golden walnut you can find on this side of the island. I will, however, make sure to specifically mention any future walnuts I find in this area. I make my way to the volcano dungeon where I used the slingshot to obtain a walnut before unlocking the dig site area. I do a bit of landscaping, shall we say, which provides us with bone fragments and artifacts. I utilize the tractor and my brain. I know, I'm also surprised that I'm using my brain. It took a while for the cogs to start turning and for the cobwebs to be cleaned up, but believe me, my brain is and has been working at 101% power during this entire run so far. I do not want to fail this challenge. That would be just a little bit embarrassing considering how easy it is. The farmhouse here on Ginger Island has been repaired, which means I can now sleep on the island. On day 31, I remember I never made it to the end of the volcano dungeon when I came here at the end of spring. That is a miscarriage of justice. I cannot allow things to remain this way. I steamroll my way through the volcano dungeon, collecting copious amounts of goodies and golden walnuts along the way. I reach the shop on level 5 where I realize I cannot buy anything from the dwarf here because I haven't donated all of the dwarf scrolls to the museum. There is one scroll absent from the collection. I'm sure I have it lying in a chest somewhere, so this is just me being lackadaisical and forgetting to donate it. I really do need to take it to the museum soon though. We will receive the Dwarvish translation guide for doing so, which will not only allow us to buy things from this shop, but we will also be able to become friends with the dwarf in the mines, and the sooner we do that, the better. Okay, now that I've said that out loud, I really should have donated that scroll sooner. That could be our problem in the future, and a big problem at that. Anyhoomst, our journey through the dungeon went very well. I acquired many more walnuts and made it to the end. Here I obtain a further 2 golden walnuts as well as a prismatic shard. Changing course completely now, I have found a rainbow shell at the beach. What an absolutely marvellous piece of forage. Also, I really wish we could go to more locations with the minecarts. They make getting around the area so much faster. It is time now to water our massive field full of seeds. This is something that will have to be done daily as I refuse to use iridium sprinklers on this farm for some reason. I don't really know why. I mean, I know I have the tractor, but they would still be useful, so I don't know, like maybe somewhere deep down inside of me, some little part of me is just completely opposed to the idea of using sprinklers on this farm. I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know why I'm saying this. I'm off topic again. This is going to happen quite a bit. I'm sorry. But just to go back to the whole sprinkler thing again, I am using them in the greenhouse because I'm too lazy to go in there every day. It is time now to end the day on a good note. It is time to get the Prismatic Jelly. You will notice I did not say I'm going to attempt to get the jelly or we have the chance to end the day on a good note. No, there is no maybe. There isn't just a chance. I am manifesting the appearance of a prismatic slime. I will get the jelly, and this day will end on a positive note. Sure enough, the prismatic slime does appear. I defeat it and obtain the elusive jelly. I kinda want to spread this jelly on some toast and see what it tastes like. I run to the mountain area and use the dark talisman to open up the entrance to the witch's swamp. I do a bit of fishing to obtain the void mayonnaise and give it to the single best character in the entire game. The Goblin Henchman. And that isn't just my opinion, by the way. The Goblin Henchman is objectively the best character in the entire game. I mean, just think of all of the moments that involve the Goblin Henchman. We have this moment here. I return to the wizard and present him with his magic ink. We have now unlocked his shop, which means we can buy Junimo Huts, the 4 obelisks, and the golden clock. We need to obtain all 4 obelisks and the golden clock to achieve perfection, so that is going to be a really easy thing for me to do and will not be time consuming, stressful, heartbreaking, and just overall a soul crushing experience for me. No, I'm absolutely going to thoroughly enjoy earning enough gold to buy all of those items. I finally give the Prismatic Jelly to the wizard, completing his special order. I receive 5,000 gold from the wizard on day 32. The crafting recipe for Monster Musk has also been added to our repertoire. A little harvesting session takes place next, followed by a trip to the store owned by... I can't think of anything else to describe this man as, but I don't want to say his name. I don't like him. I buy 125 radish seeds, give a prismatic shard to Jazz for her birthday, and donate a couple of items to the museum. The dwarf scroll was not one of these items. I forgot about it again. Clint cracks open a golden coconut for us, which yields a golden walnut. I receive marble from a frozen geode along with a few more new artifacts from artifact troves. All of these items are of course donated. Gunther better give me a very nice Christmas present this year. I have been working overtime on basically making his museum look very nice. I think I deserve a hot chocolate or a hash brown or even both as a thank you. I make a cherry bomb, plant all of my radish seeds, and spend a bit of time digging up the ground on the beach. We can get golden coconuts and artifacts that can be donated to an office on the island by doing this. So I will make sure I do it as often as I can. I talk to Birdie, who has a quest for us. She gives us a memento which we will have to use to obtain a pirate's locket. Basically, we give the memento to someone, they give us an item in return, we give that item to someone else, rinse and repeat until somebody gives us the pirate's locket. Unfortunately for Birdie, however, my schedule has already been filled and so she will have to wait a while before I get around to doing that. I use the cherry bomb I made to free Professor Snail from the cave he was trapped in so I can begin donating items to the little museum he has in his office. I answer 2 questions related to the island in record time to obtain 2 golden walnuts, then I dig up another walnut and an ostrich egg. I toss this egg into the shipping bin. I could have saved it and used it to get an ostrich in the barn on our farm, but this egg is required for the shipping collection, so I wanted to get it out of the way now. Day 33 begins with the crafting of 70 tappers. I head to the quarry area where I chop down just a couple of maple trees, then I place tappers on the oak trees here. I give the memento to Kent, who gives us gourmet tomato salt. Gus is thrilled to receive this salt and in return gives us a Stardew Valley rose. I decide to have an early night, gotta make sure we keep our sleeping pattern intact, that is very important. Some radishes are ready for harvest on day 34. The rest of the day is spent going through the Skull Caverns. Our Skull Cavern escapades continue on days 35 through 38. I won't lie, I may be becoming slightly attached to the thrill of breaking rocks, breaking more rocks, and breaking even more rocks. In all seriousness though, seeing little pieces of iridium ore and prismatic shards fly towards my farmer causes the dopamine receptors in my brain to light up every single time. But make no mistake about it, these Skull Cavern runs aren't being done just to prevent the production of sad vibes in my body, no, they're keeping the dream of achieving perfection by the end of the year alive. I will forever be grateful to both the Skull Cavern and the tractor for this. Some important things did happen outside of the Skull Caverns during this period of time that I also want to mention. William had a delicious special order for us. He wants us to fetch 100 pieces of bug meat for him. I gave Gus a diamond for his birthday, then I decided to keep spreading the good vibes as I give presents to everybody in the carpenter/scientist/Sebastian family. It was Maru's birthday, but I can't leave the rest of her family out, can I? I mean, I could, actually, I absolutely could, but I decided to be nice here. Many different crops are ready for harvest on day 39. Melons, starfruit, blueberries, taro roots, peppers, tomatoes, and hops are all added to our inventory. Some of these crops grew during the period I spent in the Skull Caverns, but again, I wanted us all to be able to share this wonderful experience together. I toss all of my starfruit into the shipping bin along with 1 each of the other crops before throwing everything else into a chest. I want to make sure I've got everything I need for the cooking recipes in the future, so I'm going to keep around 90% of my crops in a chesty westy. I harvest a sweet gem berry in the greenhouse and give it to my old pal, the old Master Cannoli statue in the secret woods. I receive a star drop in return. As a part-time businessman and a former entrepreneur, I know a good deal when I see one, and this was a good deal. Dare I even say it was a very good deal. Moving on now to the luau, I toss a gold star melon into the soup. I spend some time talking to the villagers, then the governor tries the soup made by the entire town. The melon I added gets the best reaction from the governor, earning us half a friendship heart with the villagers. Moving on to day 48, the remaining starfruit are ready for harvest. I plant summer seeds because I want to make a monumental amount of progress this season when it comes to my foraging skill. I want to make a monumental amount of progress in general, actually, now that I think about it, but you know what I mean. I have maneuvered the crab pots from the beach to the town river so I can continue getting sea creatures that are needed for the fishing collection. I sell around 75, maybe 80% of the iridium bars I have to Clint, which pushes our bank account up to over 1.1 million gold. We are finally the opposite of broke. It took a while, but we are officially a millionaire. Our bank account goes from tasty to tantalizing as I sell my crops. I have big plans, some may even call them really big plans, that require 2 stacks of deluxe speed grow. This is quite expensive, but it will absolutely be worth it. I also purchased 50 red cabbage seeds because for some reason I forgot to buy them at the start of summer. Oops. I grab the wallpaper catalogue while I'm here too, then it's off to the desert where I buy 2 full stacks of starfruit seeds. I do a little foraging run. This is something I will be doing as often as I can to make sure I have a plentiful supply of coconuts and cactus fruit. I reach an entirely new level of farming as I plant my starfruit seeds, sprinkling deluxe speed grow on them as I do. This is the moment where I was no longer a humble planter of seeds, nay, I became a shining beacon of hard work, passion and hope. Not just for the residents of Pelican Town, but for every citizen in the region of Stardew Valley. As I planted my seeds and I chopped down trees, an old Irish saying popped into my mind. It is a long one, but I would like to share it with you all. Sen art a will fua, go quarter me an gra. Sen art a will ciuntucht, go quarter me pardún. Sen art a will auris, go quarter me creditive. En art na e docus, go quarter me an docus. En art na dorcadus, go quarter me solus. Sen art na will bron, go quarter me lucre. That translates in English to, where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. That might be too much for a Stardew Valley video, but I will take any opportunity I get to practice my Irish. With today's Irish lesson out of the way, let us progress now to the mines where I gallivant around the area collecting bug meat for William. I was not able to collect all 100 I needed, so I shall return in the very near future to continue working on this. I decide to expand my range of seeds on day 41, so I toss taro roots, ancient fruit and a pineapple into a seed maker. Up next on the agenda is a visit to Sandy so I can give her the Stardew Valley rose. I receive the advanced TV remote in return. I also buy 100 beet seeds while I'm here. Shane wants a coconut, I can take care of that very easily. I give a prismatic shard to Alex for his birthday, and I give the advanced TV remote to George. He gives us the Arctic shard in return. I need to pay a visit to the wizard, but I make a quick stop in Marnie's first. Please give a warm welcome to 4 new goats. Yeah, nah, perhaps, and certainly. As well as this, Tranquility and Turbulence the cows have also joined the family. I have made what I believe is the single best business deal of my entire life. I gave the Arctic shard to the wizard and he gave me a wiggling worm. He got absolutely swindled in this one. What can I say? When you're good, and I am a good tradesman. I collect the seeds produced by the seed maker, then I watch a cutscene involving Abigail. She is playing the flute in the rain. I have no time for dilly-dallying, so I skip this cutscene, avoiding a scenario in which my farmer joins her. Instead, I ask Robin to upgrade the barn. It is at this point I notice the time. I want to go to Ginger Island, but Willie's shop closes at 5 PM. I make a beeline for the beach. I was listening to the final countdown during this and it really got me in the zone. I felt it. Deep down in my soul, I knew that I would make it on time. Unfortunately, I arrived too late, so that was very humbling, I must say. The good news is I ran into Willie, so I was able to give him the worm. I receive the pirate's locket for doing this. Now all I have to do is present this locket to Birdie and her mission will be completed. But that will not be taking place tonight as I have rather important business to tend to. I must return to the mines and continue collecting bug meat. Floors 15 and 16 are very lucrative areas in terms of bugs, so I just farmed these 2 floors over and over again. I eventually reached the first goal of collecting 100 bug meat. I drop this off at Willie's shop before the night ends, completing goal 2. You may notice I had over 100 bug meat in my inventory. That is because I didn't collect all 100 today, so I went back to my farm and collected a bunch of meat from a chest to make sure I would have enough when I dropped them off at Willie's. We are halfway through summer now as we have made it to day 42. As I am watering my field of seeds, I can't help but notice there is a patch of land in the bottom right of the farm which is completely barren. This will have to be rectified soon. I plant pineapple and ancient fruit seeds along with taro tubers in the greenhouse, then I clean up the desert. Some absolute scallywag must have dug up all of the ground here, so I use my pickaxe to make it go back to normal. I do not know who dug up the ground here. That is a mystery. I exchange a lot of Omni Geodes for artifact troves, and I ask Clint to crack them all open. I make a few donations to the museum, and I am very happy to announce that this time I actually remembered to bring the final dwarf scroll with me. Also, here is a progress update on the museum collection. I have but 3 items left to donate. 2 of them can be found by digging up the ground. The third one can be obtained during winter. We will receive the magnifying glass during that season, which will allow us to collect and read secret notes. One of these notes reveals the location of the third artifact. I head to the mines where I don't introduce myself to the dwarf because I forgot to collect the dwarvish translation guide from the museum. I'll be honest, at this point I have 1 brain cell left and it is just playing a video of Subway Surfers on a loop. Nevertheless, I collect the translation guide, then I finally actually introduce myself to the dwarf. I purchase a crafting recipe from him and I give him the first of many gifts. The dwarf loves gems, so amethyst, emeralds, aquamarine, those kind of things. This will make getting him to maximum hearts pretty easy, I reckon. William is having a bit of fun at the beach. He has taken the bug meat I gave him and is using it for fishing purposes. He gives us the crafting recipe for the quality bobber. Thank you so much, you are a star, William. I use a rain totem as soon as I step foot on the island of Ginger. I head into the cave on our farm where I talk to the frog inside. I show him the melon, wheat and garlic I grew, which earns us 15 gold and walnuts. I take back what I said about the goblin henchman being the best character in the game. The goblin henchman did not give us 15 gold and walnuts, so the frog has officially taken his place. I harvest the crops here, which rewards us with more gold and walnuts. You can get a total of 5 by doing this, and truth be told, I was not keeping count of how many I harvested here, so I don't know how many I got. I give the pirate's locket to Birdie, who rewards us with more walnuts and the crafting recipe for fairy dust. I am very curious as to how many walnuts I have obtained at this point, so I check and I have collected 80 of them. I am very pleasantly surprised, I must say. I was expecting to see a total of 40, maybe 50 at the most. This has rejuvenated my spirits. I am now more motivated than ever to complete this challenge. I obtain a golden coconut by digging up the ground at the beach, then I unlocked the island resort. I go a step further and spend even more walnuts to unlock the island trader. I buy a crafting recipe and a banana tree sapling here. I find one of the 3 artifacts I need at the dig site, very nice, then I make a donation to the island field office. This field office should be very easy to complete thanks to the tractor. I return to the island trader where I purchase another crafting recipe, dig up a walnut, collect another by fishing, and earn another 3 by playing games of darts. I dig up another walnut, then I do some fishing. We can collect 5 by fishing, so I would like to get that out of the way as soon as I can. I catch a super cucumber followed by a super cucumber. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. Thankfully, I secure a lionfish, then 1, 2, 3, 4 golden walnuts. Not bad. Not bad at all. The harvesting of some radishes on day 43 yields another walnut, and just like the previous 2 series I have done on this channel, the word walnut has now lost all meaning for me. I use a rain totem again, the reason why will be revealed shortly. And by shortly, I mean right now. I head to the north of the island where I find a bird that drops an amethyst. I bring it to the forest where I put it on a podium. When it's raining on Ginger Island, a bird will spawn in one of 4 locations: the north, south, east or west of the island. Each bird will drop a gem and each gem must be placed on the corresponding podium. So because the bird spawned in the north today, we put the amethyst on the top podium. Collecting all 4 gems will give us 5 walnuts. I donate a mummified frog to the field office, earning 2 more golden walnuts. Despite all that has happened, today is not a good day. You see, the 2 special orders this week are useless to me. Completing Willy's order won't give us a crafting recipe, and I already got the recipe from Demetrius. With a heart full of sadness, I ask Clint to crack open a golden coconut. I really wanted to get the fossilized skull because I need it for the field office, but I received a banana tree sapling instead. I do replenish some happiness, however, as I water my starfruit seeds. I decide to work on the fishing collection for a while. I am not going to acknowledge the first fish I caught. I do catch a red mullet though, and I buy some coffees in the saloon. I also buy some salads, pizzas and spaghetti, which I can and have been using as gifts for the villagers. The fishing expedition continues as I catch a pike. Then I realize all of the fish I need stop appearing after 7 PM, so that was pretty heartbreaking. I had pretty bad luck today. I'm gonna go watch Shaun of the Dead to cheer myself up. Summer seeds have been planted on day 44. That is very important information and will absolutely change the trajectory of this playthrough, so I wanted to mention that. I return to the river where I catch a rainbow trout, then I head to the beach where an octopus, a tilapia, a pufferfish and a tuna are added to our collection. As always, I start my Ginger Island experience with a rain totem. A bird in the forest, aka the east side of the island, drops a ruby which I place on the corresponding podium. I trade mussels for a mango tree sapling and plant it beside my banana tree sapling. With this, I have pretty much guaranteed that I will complete the shipping collection before the year ends. Normally, the final 4 items I need are a mango, a banana, a radioactive ore, and a radioactive bar. Here's hoping I get access to radioactive ore before the end of winter. We now have a grand total of 93 golden walnuts. I was very happy about this, so I celebrate by going to sleep. The 4th and final rain totem has been used on day 45. The final rain totem for now, I should say. I will be using one more on this island at some point. I will be sure to point out when that moment is, but what I can say is that it will probably occur during fall. The 3rd bird drops an emerald for us, which is promptly placed on the podium. There has been a lot of alliteration in this playthrough, which I kinda regret because I've had to record so many lines multiple times. And that's because what I was saying was basically a tongue twister. I struggled so much reading this script. Like that line right there, promptly placed. It took me like 7 attempts to say it properly, and I don't even think I said it right there properly. I like to complain about small things. Anyway, I catch a red snapper at the beach. Lovely, I am glad that one has been taken care of. Red snappers only appear when it is raining, so I may have forgotten about that one if I hadn't caught it today. I make a donation to the museum, then I travel to the desert where I catch a sandfish and a scorpion carp. I plant some coffee beans in the greenhouse. I would eventually like to be able to make hundreds of coffee instead of spending money in the saloon. My recent victories in the field of fishing have inspired me to return to an area that previously defeated me. The mines. I catch the stonefish pretty much straight away, which motivates me even further. So I head to floor 60 where I catch an ice pip. I cannot believe how well this is going. I'm going to park the fishing here for today though. I do not want to push my luck and try to catch the lava eel. I do have sensational news though. I have finally reached level 10 in fishing. Day 46 starts in a very productive manner. I have decided to make a keg, a preserves jar, a mayonnaise machine, my voice is going, and a cheese press. I place chests beside these machines and fill them with all the items needed to make one each of wine, juice, jam, pickles, pale ale, cheese, and mayonnaise. This was done for shipping collection purposes. I head to the river in the forest because I need to catch a dorado. This takes a bit of time, but the fish finally shows up and I catch it. One more added to the collection. I use my tractor to dig up the ground on the farm so I can try to get a snake vertebrae. I have no luck with this today, but rest assured I will obtain 2 snake vertebrae. The final bird has appeared. It drops an aquamarine. It is time now for me to take on my mortal enemy, the Simon Says game. It takes me around 4 minutes, but I channel my inner Cody Rhodes and I finish the story. That's not actually the best comparison now that I think about it, considering he hasn't actually finished his story. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Cody Rhodes is a wrestler, and for months he was saying that beating Roman Reigns, the current champion, was something he had to do. So he wins the Royal Rumble, faces Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and loses. So he didn't finish the story, but hopefully he can do it at next year's WrestleMania. I mean, if I'm capable of finishing my story, I have faith that he, or indeed anybody else, can finish their story. I head to the area with the podiums where for some reason I completely forgot that I picked up the amethyst earlier. I do not know how to explain this, but I was convinced I did not see a bird today. Let us move on to tomorrow so we can see what I did to overcome this self-imposed roadblock I have placed in front of me. Day 47 begins with some fishing at the mountain lake where I catch a sturgeon. This can be a tricky one, so I definitely got lucky here with how easy it was to catch. Over on Ginger Island, I perform what I believed was a big brain move at the time. The final two possible gems that could be placed on the podium are a topaz and an aquamarine. There we go. I collected both of these from a chest and placed the aquamarine on the final podium, earning 5 walnuts. I now realize this was completely unnecessary as I saw the bird drop the blue gem and I picked it up, so I didn't actually have to guess whether it was the blue gem or a topaz. You remember how I said my one brain cell just plays videos of Subway Surfers on a loop? Well, that has been upgraded, or maybe downgraded depending on the way you see it. There is now audio playing in my brain, and that audio is somebody reading a story from Reddit. Something fantastic happened though that made me feel a lot better about that whole kerfuffle. I have collected over 100 walnuts and unlocked Mr. Key's walnut room. I can now accept special orders from Mr. Key, earn key gems, and use them to purchase things in this room. The first of what I assume will be many orders requires us to bring 100 each of different coloured items to Mr. Key. This is always a fun one for me, honestly. It's one of my favourite special orders for sure. In terms of perfection, I am at 25%. I was slightly disappointed by this, but then I realised summer isn't even over. I think we're doing pretty well when you take that into consideration. But again, I am using the tractor and I started with the best tools, so in no way is this me saying that I'm a great Stardew Valley player or anything like that. What I will say is that this is the most fun I've had with a playthrough in a long time. And I'm including the playthrough with the loot boxes in that. That one was fun, don't get me wrong, but this one is just on a whole nother level of satisfying. In other news, I have quickly grown to love the dig site area. Mainly because it is just another excuse for me to dig up large amounts of dirt. I donate an item to the field office, then I return to Pelican Town where I purchase 2 lead bobbers and 2 trap bobbers. I give a strawberry to Demetrius for his birthday, then I hit the floor 100 of the mines. Long story short, I was defeated by the lava eel once again. Here is a look at the fishing collection to begin day 48. I believe I have caught every fish that is exclusive to summer at this point. In terms of the fish I still need to catch and can catch right now, we have the lava eel, of course. I am quite frankly terrified of my next encounter with that one. There are 2 fish on Ginger Island which I'm sure I will get around to at some point. The void salmon can be caught in the witch's swamp, the mutant carp can be caught in the sewer, and I can buy magic bait in Mr. Key's walnut room and use it to catch the legend. I think that covers all of them. Actually, there are fish that are exclusive to fall and winter that can be caught on Ginger Island right now, but I'm too lazy to get them, so. Phenomenal news now is all of the starfruit seeds I planted have grown. I am running out of ways to describe my happiness in a convoluted way, so what I will say is that the vibes are very good right now. We are about to make so much money from this, I cannot wait to go to the store owned by the bootleg version of Matthew McConaughey. Actually, that's an insult to Matthew. I very much enjoyed the role he played in a movie called The Gentleman, so I take that one back. I'm talking about Pierre, alright? I'll say his name just this one time. Anyway, I make more summer seeds, which I plant. Pamela catches me going through a trash can, that was unfortunate, and I sell all of my starfruit. I now have over 2 million gold at my disposal. As a retired businessman and a freelance philanthropist, I know that the smartest thing to do with this money is to invest it. So I do into 3 full stacks of deluxe speed grow and 4 stacks of starfruit seeds. As I plant these seeds, I am already incredibly excited at the thought of harvesting them all in the future. I plant some more in the greenhouse and harvest some ancient fruit and taro roots while I'm at it. I do the same thing over on Ginger Island as I fill the entire farm with even more starfruit seeds. Day 49 begins in a rather disappointing way as none of the muscle nodes I break give us a golden walnut. Not to worry though, as I accidentally dug up a walnut to make up for it. I gallivant around the beach on my tractor before harvesting some forage that has grown on the farm. I make sure to replace the forage with more seeds, sell some iridium bars to Clint as our bank account was in shambles, then I watch a cutscene with Sebastian. He offers to take us on a motorcycle ride some night. No thank you. I feel like I'm the first person in the history of Stardew Valley to actually say no to that. At the beginning of this year, I would have said yes, but I am a completely different person now. I asked Robin to build a shed for us and buy 4 mini fridges along with a workbench, a calendar, and a telephone. I deliver some items to Mr. Key, completing his special order and earning 35 key gems. I make the executive decision to not purchase anything with my gems. It costs 140 gems to buy every crafting recipe that is being sold here, so I'm going to save my gems until I can get all of them. After that, I'm going to aim for the key to the town and Pierre's missing stock list. I just said his name by accident. And of course I will buy some magic bait at some point so I can catch the legend. I spent some time going through the volcano dungeon. Of course it is nice getting items like a dragon tooth and cinder shards, but the priority here was making it to level 5. I buy a crafting and a cooking recipe from the dwarf here, then I keep pushing forward. I might as well. I'm glad I did because I get a golden walnut near the end. I do some magic forging stuff with my galaxy sword and an emerald to give it more speed. I hunt for coconuts on the morning of day 50. I still need to get the fossilized skull from a golden coconut, and we can trade 10 coconuts for a golden coconut at the island trader. We can of course also get golden coconuts by shaking these trees. Our farm is looking splendiferous, I must say. I donate an item to the office, go fishing to get another artifact and donate that too. All I need is the fossilized skull and 2 snake vertebrae. At the special orders board, the vibes are in limbo, shall we say. Clint and Linus have decided to offer us special orders. We can only accept 1. The problem is, both of these orders have a crafting recipe as a reward. I need both of these recipes. This is a very difficult choice. It's like asking me to choose between water and cherry Pepsi. I want both of them. In the end, I choose Linus's order. I just hope Clint doesn't hold this against me and will give me that special order again in the future. Speaking of Clint, he cracks open the 2 golden coconuts and I don't get the fossilized skull. I feel like this is going to become a trend which I am not looking forward to at all. I place my fridges, calendar and telephone in the house and collect fruit from my trees in the greenhouse. I give an amethyst to the dwarf for his birthday. I feel like this just saved us. I don't know if I would have been able to max out his friendship by the end of the year if I didn't get the 3 bonus friendship hearts from doing this. I mean, we still could fail, let's be honest, but we have a higher chance of succeeding now. After purchasing a rare crow from the dwarf, I head to floor 100 of the mines. Thankfully, I'm just here to get trash for Linus' special order. I make some decent progress, but I don't get all the trash I need before the night is over. I finally visit the tree farm in the quarry area on day 51. A lot of oak resin has gathered in the chest here along with some maple syrup and pine tar. I'm not entirely sure if I mentioned this before, so I'll just say it now. The Automate mod allows you to use flooring and pathways to connect things to a chest. In this instance, I used wood pathways to connect all of the trees with tappers on them to the chest, which means all of the oak resin, pine tar and maple syrup automatically goes into the chest. While I was collecting trash for Linus's order, I unexpectedly hooked the lava eel. Even more unexpectedly, I was able to catch it. I'm still surprised that this happened, but I certainly will not complain. I am very glad that the lava eel has finally been added to the collection. I wanted to ask Robin to upgrade the house, but she isn't here, so I give prismatic shards to everybody in our family besides her. Was that spiteful of me to do? Absolutely, yeah, it was, and I'll do it again. My farmer does not take kindly to that kind of disrespect. Scandalous behaviour from Robin here. I throw the trash I collected into the dumpster for Linus, finishing his order. Also, here is a look at the mushroom cave Demetrius set up for us. I have done the same thing here as I did at the quarry, so all of the mushrooms automatically go into the chest. It is time now for us to obtain the casino membership card. I put a battery pack into a box in the tunnel beside the bus stop, and a rainbow shell goes into the box at the train tracks. I can't do the next step right now because of the time, so instead I go into the witch's swamp where I catch a catfish and a second catfish and another one. I see where this is going. Thankfully, after 5 catfish, I finally managed to secure a void salmon. I buy 2 void eggs from Krobus, and as has become tradition, I pass out without catching the mutant carp. I am greeted by the sight of some lovely forage on day 52. What a beautiful start to the day. I toss a void egg into the mayo machine, toss another egg and jam into the shipping bin, and read a letter from Linus. He has sent us the crafting recipe for fiber seeds. This is a bittersweet moment. I'm glad we got this recipe, but it's also a reminder of Clint's special order that I couldn't do. I give William a catfish for his birthday, then I watch a cutscene involving the proprietor of the local fishing shop himself. Crabs have invaded the shop, but thankfully Gus shows up and helps Willie get rid of them. I always get so happy when I watch this cutscene because it means crab cakes will be sold in the saloon for the rest of the week. It's worth buying at least a few of them when this happens. It is time now to get back to our mission of obtaining the casino membership card. I put 10 beets in Luce's fridge and put a solar essence into the mouth of the dragon skeleton in the desert. I find the casino card hidden just outside our house. I ask Robin to upgrade the shed. I will ask her to upgrade our house another time. I enter the Adventurers Guild and take a look at the monster eradication goals. I have a bit of work to do with quite a few of them, which isn't too surprising considering I focused exclusively on getting through the mines as fast as I could. And it has been pretty much the same with the Skull Caverns. At some point during fall or winter, I will dedicate a few days to doing all of these. We can't use the boat to get to Ginger Island as the shop is closed, so I make a warp totem and use it to teleport to the island. I harvest a few taro roots while watering my starfruit seeds, shake the trees to get some coconuts, and enter the walnut room. Some fantastic news now as the Danger in the Deep special order is available. The mines have been given a makeover for lack of a better term. If we reach the bottom, we will receive 50 key gems, which is delightful. We can also find radioactive ore in this new mine system, which we of course need for the shipping collection. I exchange my coconuts for 2 golden walnuts, and then I make a deeply upsetting discovery. I never introduce myself to Leo. This is the first time I'm watching the cutscene where we actually become his friend. This isn't just bad, this is very bad. I don't know when his birthday is. I hope it hasn't happened yet, because if it has, I could be in a lot of trouble when it comes to maxing out his friendship. I had a feeling I would forget something important during this playthrough, so in a way I'm not really surprised this happened, but it still sucks. But as always, we shall push forward. These things happen, you know, that's life, it is what it is, what can you do? In fact, no, let's go a step further. I'm going to use this as motivation to work even harder for the rest of this playthrough. A conglomerate of summer forage has appeared on day 53. I head to Clint's where I crack open 3 golden coconuts and I don't receive the fossilized skull. Wah. I'm not going to give up yet though. After collecting some coconuts from a chest, I return to town, then I make my way to the boat so I can reach Ginger Island. The entire time, all I was thinking to myself was, I'm very hungry. I collect more coconuts and buy a single golden coconut. I give Leo a duck feather, there can be no dilly-dallying with the process of increasing his friendship, and crack open the golden coconut. I get the fossilized skull, nah just kidding, no I don't. I head to the mines to get started on Mr. Key's special order. I was having fun, a lot of fun, dare I even say an infinite amount of fun, until I reached floor 30. Floors 30 to 40 are dark. It is very difficult to see and I am straight up not having a good time. Nevertheless, I persevere and make it through this difficult time, is what I wish I could say. The dark floors continue even after floor 40. I am suffering. I'm not actually suffering, I'm just being dramatic. I pass out on floor 52. I finally decide to make some kegs on day 54. I have made 66, and while I do have everything I need to make 51 more, I'm trying to decide if I want to sacrifice that much wood right now. While I am placing these kegs in the shed, I make up my mind that I absolutely want to make more. It simply does not feel right having this much empty space in this shed. I craft the aforementioned 51 kegs and add them to the shed. This feels so much better. I do want to fill it up entirely though, so I will get to work on that pretty soon. Gus is on Ginger Island, so I buy the tropical curry cooking recipe from him. I give Leo a duck feather and it turns out today is his birthday. Alright. Cards on the table here, full transparency. I got really lucky. I was really nervous about Leo's friendship, but this may have saved it. I said the same thing about the dwarf. we've gotten very lucky twice now. That does not bode well for the future. We may have used all of our luck. But anyway, I head to the island trader with what I believe is the last of my coconut reserves and get one golden coconut. I am too late to go into Clint's shop, so I return to the mines instead. I get some radioactive ore, which I am very happy about. By the end of the night, I will definitely have enough to make a radioactive bar, as well as some extra ore for future crafting recipes. I make it down to floor 84 before I pass out. Not bad. We're basically 2/3 of the way there. It's straight back to the mines on day 55. There's not much to say about this one other than it was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the look of this mine system. It is very aesthetically pleasing in my humble opinion. I make it down to floor 120 at around 2 PM, securing my 50 key gems. I also obtained an extra 3 gems during the last 3 days from monsters dropping them in the mines. I head into Clint's with my golden coconut and I receive pineapple seeds. I might cry. To cheer myself up, I buy some new animals for the barn. Say hello to Hi, Hello, Bye, Pig, Piggy, and Fernando the pigs. I spend 5 walnuts to unlock the mailbox beside the house on Ginger Island, then I spend a further 20 walnuts to unlock the warp tower that will take us back to the farm in Pelican Town. I get a golden coconut by shaking a tree. Ordinarily I would be very happy about this, but these golden coconuts have brought me nothing but misery and disappointment so far. I head to the saloon at the end of the day. This is one of the ways I have been consistently improving my friendships. I go in here when I can and give gifts to everybody. It works like a charm. I buy 200 crab cakes. I said earlier it's worth picking up some of these when they go on sale, so of course I'm going to ensure that my actions reflect my words. Day 56. The final day of summer has arrived. I am already loving the speed boost I get from eating a crab cake and drinking a coffee simultaneously. I really do not want to go back to the normal walking speed after experiencing this. I harvest all of the star fruit that has grown, and this is without a doubt the single best moment in this entire playthrough so far. I feel more and more content with every star fruit I pick up. I collect some oak resin, pine tar and maple syrup from the quarry area, ask Robin to upgrade the house, and sell my gold and silver star quality starfruit. I'm keeping the normal starfruit for the kegs. I buy 50 of each cooking item, ask Clint to crack open a golden coconut. I do not want to talk about what I got from it, and visit Robin's once more. I decide to go on a bit of a spending spree here and buy 7 stacks of wood. I use the oak resin I collected to make 87 kegs, which I place in the keg shed. It is now officially full. I throw starfruit into a chest in front of the kegs, so they will automatically be placed into the kegs. I donate 2 artifacts to the museum. I thought I donated the skull earlier, so I'm glad I remembered to bring it with me here. But the good news is, all I have left to donate is the artifact I can find after reading a secret note in winter. Also, that skull isn't the same one I need for the field office on Ginger Island, unfortunately. It's a completely different one. I trade 10 iridium bars for the desert warp totem crafting recipe, collect some coconuts, and clear out some space at the bottom of the desert. I plant around 50 acorn seeds and sprinkle tree fertilizer on them. I need to expand my oak resin empire, so I will be placing tappers on these trees when they have grown. I do the smart thing, place wooden pathways beside the acorn seeds and connect the paths to a chest. This way I don't have to deal with the hassle of doing this when they're fully grown. I head to the beach where I enjoy the dance of the Moonlight Jellies festival. And that is the end of summer. Just like spring, a lot of things happened during this season. A lot of that was good, some was bad, but that's okay. Not every day is going to be a winner. But overall, I feel like we had a very productive 28 days. I am cautiously optimistic when it comes to fall.